Hello. Today I want to draw using past lives energies to draw our purpose today. This came to me yesterday while I was busy writing in my notebook, like I always do, like I write down what my wins of the last day, 10 wins, whatever was a win for me. And then I also write down special things that I discover and see what happened yesterday. Sometimes an explosion of insights happen. And there's even another page like that, whatever happened yesterday. And I decided that I want to make a drawing on that, which is still a very vague composition there. But we are exploring that together today. I'm using Neurographica as a tool, although this is not an algorithm of Neurographica, but it's using the elements of Neurographica. So we are using shapes of squares, of circles, and in this drawing I'm also intending to use something like rays. They appear like the shapes with the rays appears in neural algorithm and make our goal visible. So, and this composition I'm going to draw today with you will include shapes and also the neural lines and all the steps of the basic algorithm, obviously. And you can find your own meanings to the shapes, which is very possible, even though if it might be like not the clear inside of some kind of past lives energies. We have these knowledge, this knowledge inside of what is like serving us, what is supporting us, and no matter where it comes from, we can put it into these shapes, and then we'll explore like how the integration of these shapes lead to our purpose, which is most probably connected to giving out as well. So I'm curious, let's do it. So we are writing down our topic. I want to call it using past life energy for today. In relation to my purpose. So it's a long topic. Usually we choose one word. So if I choose one word, I would choose purpose. But I want to make it clear for myself using past lives energy for today in relation to my purpose. So I explore now what is visible to my subconsciousness before drawing. I want to tell you why I choose to work with those past lives energies, because I happened to move to Finland for following a very strong urge of mine to be in this country. And I didn't have any strong urges like that before. I only had the urge of leaving Germany for many years. But when I found Finland, I was clear this is my place, and I feel at home, and I feel comfortable, and I feel very much connected. And I wanted to explore where this urge came from, and I already drew some drawings on that, and I found two connections. Like one connections of me having been connected somewhere in the forest, being by myself and being all spirit and connected to everything that is, but not connected to humans, like being withdrawn and shining the light like that, like by being. And that's one aspect I feel in myself, like I want to be like that. I want to connect, and I don't want to connect with present day life, for example. So that's one of the aspects I feel in myself. And the second aspect I'm discovering right now, because there must have been some second very closer experience I made, and even I'm at a place at the moment where I felt really drawn to, and I have this kind of feeling that there has been an experience recently of someone also being very stable and firm and independent from people, but much more connected to this life, and having made experiences like the changing world. And I feel a lot of relations like to simple life, to doing things on my own, to be and live in nature, and dislike of cities, dislike of all kind of technical development, and I feel connected to that energy which is also stable in myself, knowledgeable, present in the moment, doing what needs to be done, but also withdrawn from people. So, and these energies get much more clear for me, and that's why I find shapes for them. And now, like yesterday, these came together as an synthesis of those energies to also bring about the new experience of connecting with people and being able to give out that way. And I fear that this is like this life's purpose. And yes, let's draw. So basically we are drawing two energies in ourselves which we strongly feel are serving our purpose today, which are in us, which we can unite, and which creates something new. 3 steps. So even if you don't have any special past life connections, so you can do that by feeling which energy is in me, which is stable and firm, represented by a square. Stable and firm energy in us, where we feel connected, we feel strong, knowledgeable, independent. Independent from whatever people do and think, from whatever thoughts of doing something else. So we don't have that here. We have this center in ourselves, which is knowledgeable and strong. I'm sure you can find something like that in you. And I want to use a color right away. For me, this is very, very, very much connected to the color of dark blue. And I'm adding dark blue here. For this very core energy in myself. And this is this energy of this independent person living down to earth life, maybe in like 1 century ago, somewhere in the forest, grounded, content with simple things, working with the own hands, being very content in the moment, doing all the things in the present, and being in the present moment, step by step, moment to moment, and all lifelong. So this is what comes up for me here and what I integrate in my square. So you integrate all kind of stability you can find anywhere in yourself in that square. You can give it a color which serves your feeling of strength, your feeling of being connected and independent, of living in the present moment. We all have these qualities in ourselves. Find the color which represents these qualities most for you. I can tell you I feel a really strong connection in my heart, and it's not only this square. I can feel it is also part of a circle, and I'm drawing a circle around that square now. And this circle is containing all this energy, the square, and also expanding its potential. And I'm activating my circle's energy by drawing neural lines around it, and I feel into this circle and I can feel some warmth coming up, something new and exciting. I want to connect my circle with my square by creating rounded connections, harmonious intersections. So you are most welcome to do that as well. So this circle, I feel wants to be a little bit more round here. The circle already represents the transition to the second energy of mine. So this is the down to earth, grounded energy, daily life's energy for me. And this, it is connected to this energy of spirituality and expanding connection to everything that is, which I want to express by drawing something like rays around it. Like I'm also drawing neural lines which are flowing around my circle. My heart feels quite excited, beating fast. Doing that, you can explore your spirituality, your connection to everything that is, universal love and wisdom, nature energies, cosmos, life, wherever, different forms of life, to everything that is, elements, but not only to life like the material life, to spirits, to all kind of spirits you can think of. For me, this is always the connection to the source, to universal love and wisdom, can be the divine, can be named in different ways, but it's expressed, it's the same thing, let's say that. No matter where you find it, it's in every one of us. Connection to everything that is. And this is light, easy, flowing, knowledgeable, but without effort, like intuitive knowledge, intuitive flow. And we make it visible here that it's there. It's connected to our stability and down to life earth, this one. It is both interacting and creating the basis, the fundament, I don't know whether this word exists, let's say the basis of your resources, which make you able to live your purpose. At least it's like how I feel that at this moment. So that's what I can share with you. If it has different shapes, can be much smaller, the rays, or they can be whatever, second circle, or whatever you feel is right for you. I can obviously only share my own process. At least that's what I'm doing here. I feel that's very valuable to connect with these two aspects in myself. So I hope you can connect to that. Leave me a comment how it's for you. Is it like working for you as well, this composition? What do you explore? Leave a comment, please. I'm happy to learn about your experiences with this drawing. Can you relate to that? Do you use different shapes? What are your colors you use? How do you feel while drawing? What do you think? So I highly recommend also, like I'm speaking about what I'm experiencing at the moment, but usually I also write everything into my beautiful book, as I showed you, taking notes of my insights, because while we are drawing, all these insights are giving us invaluable information. So now I feel as well I need some colors before drawing the third element of the composition. It's not yet there. And also maybe I'll draw some connection lines in, like from some neural lines inside my square. It looks so empty. So I can activate its energies by neural lines, which I nicely connect as well. I also thank you for your feedback, which you already gave. It's very nice to be in interaction with you and to be able to get a glimpse of what the drawing is doing for you, and maybe also answer some of your questions if you have some. But don't be shy to give feedback as well. That's how I can maybe improve my services for you. If you let me know what works for you. So more, I want more lines, so the new lines flow wherever they are needed, and they create a network of impressions Like in my case here, I'm connecting the energy of my blue square, presence in the moment, to the divine spiritual qualities of mine. And you don't worry, we all have this. We are all connected, no matter whether we are aware of that or not. And we can use these connections to feel that we are not our limitations or physical limitations, that we are spiritual beings and that we came here for shining our light. And everything that is keeping us from doing that is to be, how to say, farewelled out of our lives, I guess. That's what the best thing to put it. So we are connected to everything that is. So now I want to connect, to make that visible as well, to connect my shapes to everything that is by drawing my neural lines into the field, into the cosmos here. So I'm organically creating lines. I'm feeling into those lines and feeling where do they want to flow. So we are always connected. And here we can make our spiritual being visible. So some insights for me. So I was writing down insights about what this drawing is about. It's actually about combining the divine being in us and also the human life's being, which is always also divine being, but it is sometimes hard for us to realize that. And we get lost in this human life being, and we feel that we don't have this spiritual thing, which is not true. And even in this human body life, we can be, by being in the moment and present and aware of everything what we do, we are most connected to our spiritual being. So I let my lines flow wherever they want to go, and they always lead to the end of the paper, which is not the end of our reality. Our drawing is only one part of whole of reality. That's why it can expand, or that's what our lines make visible as well, like we are connected to everything that is. And we draw as many lines as feel needed. A very nice formula is also, like, if you look at your drawing, like as it's developing, like a balanced amount of lines in all the parts of the drawings creates usually a balanced impression as well. Like we want to create balance, harmony, integration. So we can sometimes check as well. Sometimes it happens we have tons of lines in one place and very few in the other. Then we can willingly let the lines flow through our whole drawing, one by one, carefully, even if it feels maybe weird. It will create new beautiful connections in our minds. So being here on earth, on this earth, we always have our minds, and becoming friends with our minds is maybe one of the spiritual practices as well in this life. Not to get rid of that, like not to want to get rid of the mind, and to also like be angry at the mind, which might be like insisting on our limitations and calling, like warning us from everything which is new. And we can be like angry at our mind. Why is it keeping us and our fears and all these kind of limitations? But becoming friends with our mind, knowing that it is part of the human game, that the mind has objections, that the mind is warning us from new things. It's just the way it is, and we can choose whether we believe in these warnings and how we want to go about it. Like, what is our way of dealing with that? What kind of security do we need? And what kind of security is keeping us from what we want to actually achieve? So if we have some decision, or we have something like our mind is warning us about, we can check, is that actually a danger? Do I have to do something about it, or do I do it anyway? So as you can see, there are lots of lines appearing here. This step was always challenging for me. Connect myself with the environment. Felt quite dangerous as well. So the lines can obviously intersect as well, and you make the intersections nicely rounded. So for me, that's enough now. And I want to make it visible, like my shape of spirituality, and I'm deciding to use some light yellow here right now. So we're using the color which suits our purpose the most at the moment, which is not the light yellow at the moment, which I can see I need a more brighter yellow. So this is suiting what I feel more. And I start coloring this spiritual shape. So we always color minimum 2 segments. We don't color shapes like segments individually. We always go like across over the lines, because we are creating combinations. We're combining them. So this, now they're going down here. And flowing here. And I see like how much yellow I want. But the idea is now to make our spirituality visible. Can have different color for you. Spirituality is oftentimes also purple for me. I might add some purple later, but right now I feel this needs to be yellow. Can be any color, can be red, can be whatever, can be light green, whatever feels serving your spirituality and making it visible in this drawing. Lots of different options, choices. Everything is right. I feel some kind of shyness making that so visible here. Like my tendency has been always to not shine my light, to not make it visible for everyone, to not stand out. And this here, this drawing, feels like a little bit scary in this regard. Like almost like making myself, my physical self naked, but making my spiritual self naked. What a funny idea, but yeah, it feels like that. Vulnerable. And maybe it's also this mind's objections against being seen might be dangerous. It's better to hide. Or let's say it's better because it might be safer. That's what's always the mind's concern, our safety. It might be safer to be hidden. But is it really? Is it safe to stay in my limitations, my self-doubts, my human being, which is not always as centered and focused and clear and strong as this human self I draw here? But I have this experience somewhere deep in myself, that even a human experience can be very, very strong and connected and focused inside, even being spiritual without even knowing that, acting like that. So here I'm drawing all the positive ways of being human and connected. This presence in the moment is a key which is coming to my mind while I'm drawing that. Presence in the moment, and also accepting whatever is in this moment. Everything I'm in opposition with is keeping my energy and making me unfree. Cool. Now let me check what it does with me. It's still a little bit like I feel looking at that feels scary, unknown, and I somehow feel like escaping from that, being seen so much, making myself visible so much. So how do you feel about your drawing? Did you make your spirituality visible and your center? Yeah, interesting. Let's keep drawing. I want to have this integration, like this connection points in a different color, and I'm using some, checking whether some orange feels right here, like this, making these in between stages a little bit mixed energies. So I have this impression I want some orange here, and it feels nice. Connecting down to earth, being with my spirituality. Feels actually nice. Maybe you also feel you want to create this transition space in a different color. Like my mind would have suggested purple, but I feel it needs to be orange here at this moment. You can also go over these lines which are mixing here to integrate them into my system. So that feels good. Yeah, it feels like it wants to flow somewhere. So I also, although I'm not done with the composition yet, but I feel that I want to have some orange flow into the environment here. With the colors, we are like adding a deeper level of connection, going deeper into our psyche, opening new gates, and providing foundations for the next steps. So the third step of applying these energies, like in this life, is not yet possible because I need more energy, and that's why it's very great to follow this knowledge and add colors to the environment as well if you feel it's needed at this step. If you feel that you're content with your shapes at the moment and you might busy yourself with more like coloring with this, like inside the shapes, perfectly fine. It's your decision, it's your drawing, it's your life. You are creating your impressions. That's why I always call it draw yourself free, because it's us who are creating our changes, who are creating our freedom by doing it ourselves. In this case, we are drawing, so it's possible to draw ourselves free. Isn't that good news? For me it is. In the past, I didn't know that I am in charge of my life. I didn't know that if I do something, it's possible to make changes. For me, it was very, very difficult to take decisions because I thought I needed to take the right decision just now for all my life, forever, and I cannot make any changes. So a major learning, which took me lots of drawings. I was at that time drawing with an art therapist for many years, facing lots of resistance. Thank you, Ulrike, for your patience, for your competencies. Like, it was very difficult to make my human brain aware of it's possible to make changes. I will survive. It might literally have thought that it's killing me. But the opposite is actually the case. If you make the adjustments you need to do, you will step by step create the life like you want to live, the freedom. I always had this freedom idea in myself. I wanted to be free. And actually the freedom in my case was freedom of my own limitations, of my human mind's limitations, and of all the beliefs and thoughts I had internalized from my childhood, and nobody was telling it to me for the past 30 years, but still I was thinking like the same way as if. So I was the one telling the things to myself, keeping myself small and weak. So, different shade of orange now. I'm still not going to that purpose part yet, which is great because obviously if I want to give out somehow, it is very like essential to have my own resources available. And to also recharge them in my own pace as needed. Recharge my resources and connect to my source. So I draw a new line here. Why am I doing that? Because drawing the colors had created one single white cell. Since we don't leave any cells alone, I made it two cells connected with a line. So here, and some more orange here, I feel. For me personally, recharging is necessary to withdraw myself from my daily life, to become quiet, meditate, go for a walk in nature by myself, without my phone, maybe with my notebook. While walking as well, I connect to my true self, and I have lots of insights. Even if I don't think, they will be coming to me, like intuitive knowledge is coming. So we're working on coloring now, and now I feel it's quite a lot of energy which came here to me, and now I'm ready to include the step of my purpose by creating shapes. So in this, the new thing in this life for me is connecting with people, which I didn't do here in these two lives. And how do I express that now? I add some circles representing people I am sharing my wisdom with. This also sounds scary to my mind. How can I talk about my wisdom? So, people I share universal loves and wisdom with. That sounds even better. So, this is so I'm drawing different shapes for that, giving out what I have without conditions, without doubting myself. So you can think about how big are your shapes, where are your shapes for living your purpose, whatever that is. Is it connected to people as well? You can give your shapes your meanings. You can feel whatever is your purpose, and you can place shapes. Maybe you have a bigger shape than I have, a bigger paper. My paper is quite small, but I'm on a vacation and I didn't have a bigger with me, so I use what I have, and I think I can make my giving out visible on that as well. So more bigger and smaller ones. feeling into them, sharing what wants to come to this world through me at this moment. Scary thought for my mind as well. What do you have to share? There is nothing you have to share. That's what my mind always feels, or thinks better. So, but now I'm not listening to that. I'm doing it anyway. I'm sharing what wants to come to the world through me. I'm even talking about past life experiences which I don't know much about, which is new to me, but still I know that it's that way. And even if my mind feels it is inappropriate to share that, I'm not listening to that. I do it anyway because it's part of this drawing. It's part what is most dear to me at the moment of my experiences. And I trust that my experiences are exactly right and that there will be people who need to hear exactly these things from me at this moment. And how can I serve my purpose? How can I serve like humanity? How can I do my share if I hide and not make it accessible to people? So for this reason, I created that YouTube channel to give people a chance to resonate with whatever wants to come through me. Because it's not about me. It's about what comes through me. And because it's not about me, I can do it. Yeah, it feels nice and beautiful. Look at that. I have drawn circles representing giving out, living my purpose, sharing what wants to come through me, to the world through me. And now I integrate these circles into my system to make it very, very, very visible to my brain. That yes, that's our direction. You can add lines whenever you feel there is a line missing. The more connections, the better it works. Make sure you integrate the lines by rounding nicely. And I want to invite you again to please ask your questions in the comments. I will do my best answering them. And it's very brave of every one of you to draw your topics, to bring about desired changes, to not listen to your not listen to the mind's objections, resistance, telling you that it's not something you should do. So I can congratulate every one of you drawing. And I'm really convinced about that we can draw ourselves free. Because we can. Line by line, drawing by drawing, insight by insight, and the freedom is freedom of our beliefs in limitations. This freedom, this is the freedom we can draw. Like I was living in a free environment growing up, like at least politically free. Actually, I was not growing up in a free environment because I had a very unfree experience with my mother. But still, like in a political environment of freedom of speech. But I was not acting free, not at all. I always felt the urge in myself to create as much freedom in this world as possible, and I did take actions in this direction. But the most valuable learning is that I am able to create my reality, and I'm not only able, I'm always doing that, even if I'm not doing it consciously. We all do that all the time. Like if I believe in my limitations caused by my past experiences with my mother, and I draw it every day further, like believing in it, I'm not able, I'm small, I'm not in charge. It's like loving relations are not for me. The world is an undesirable place. So I can like repeat those things every day to myself, and I won't reach freedom, and I won't reach my inner strength, and I won't, like it will be there, but I don't access it because I cannot see it. But by drawing, we can access our inner wisdom, our strength, everything which is there at every moment now for everyone, because we remove the layers that keep us from our own strength, drawing by drawing. And that's why I'm so passionate about that, because it really works. We can do something for ourselves, and we're using tools like for navigations, like we can use these drawing tools of Neurographica, like we use the traffic lights, and like we use whatever rules, and if we're on the road and moving there. So there are also rules for our psyche, like how we can make ourselves really go and move into that direction where we want to, and not to be stuck somewhere and feel horrible and don't access our energies, because we have all these energies, like to suppress them takes a lot of energy as well. To suppress our own strengths takes a lot of energy. It's like holding, like closing a door all the time, like against some pressure, like we are closing, I don't know the word, we have a stream and we blocking its way by some by placing some woods, for example, there, what happens? There will be a lot of pressure behind, and then if we open the gates, we can use these energies to whatever, for whatever we want to. These energies can be used and transformed. Like we can transform these energies of water to electricity, for example, and it's kind of the same what happens to us if we open our gates and we don't keep them closed with lots of effort. So now I don't know which was my direction, which is not really necessary, but still. Maybe like that. Nice! I like it. I feel excited. And I want to include something which is new as well, like love for people. I will mix my circles a little bit reddish to make myself aware of this lovable aspects of everyone I interact, and every person, like love for people. It's nice because like in my Neurographica education, I drew, I think, 60 drawings within 1 year. So you can imagine it's a lot of transformation. And I was always drawing very dear topics, eager to open my gates, my floodgates. And one of my major topics was always fear of being close to people, because I had this experience that it's dangerous to be close to people. Like my mother was dangerous to me, and so I closed myself off from being close to people. And now I see it transformed to love for people and playful interaction with people, and people are not dangerous for me anymore. Like I drew many drawings on that topic, fear of being close to people. Like if you draw on one topic many drawings, we'll call it a case, and it's very, very valuable because you dive deeper and deeper into your own topics, and the changes you create are more effective if you stick to one topic. Like, and this was quite natural to me because this topic was very present for me and I wanted to get rid of it. And also in relation of like working with people, giving out to people, sharing with people, it's much nicer if you feel like what I feel now, not even fear anymore. I feel, and I'm surprised myself that I can express that right now and feel that. I feel love for people and joy being with people. Maybe not being with people, but joy sharing with people. And that's actually what I experienced from started to draw with you, that it's joy sharing with you. And all of you are precious, and I value that you are on your way creating your desired life, and also you wishing to access your own powers and strength. And I'm most happy to be your guide and assist you in that process, because I know it's hard to bring about the changes, and it's very, very, very valuable to have a guide on that way and to have and use a method. And not everyone can draw 60 drawings in 1 year, but for me that was a quite the right thing to do, and the next step to open up to my powers and to finally give out. I reached the age of 50 this year, and many years ago I was like impatient. Why don't I find my purpose? Why do I always have to develop myself? And I spend so much time in the self-development, and I need to do something else. And I had a very, very nice homeopathic doctor, and she said, oh, come on, I have to tell you that I'm also working with human design. And it always sounds so familiar to me, she said, like, because I always had the same thing. And I checked your date of birth, and I checked everything like for this human design things, and it's just as I thought. She said, you are this and this. I forgot whatever I was, but what I knew is, she said, you are gaining all you need before 50, and around 50 you start doing what you need to do in the world, like giving out. Like when I'm telling you that, I get like goosebumps everywhere, because it's true. And she said, the only thing you need to do is hear the call around this. Listen, like hear and listen to the call you receive, like what you need to do, and go for it. And for me, that call was share whatever wants to come through you with the world. And obviously everything like what came up was like this course for the Neurographica instructor thing that was before 50, but not very far from 50. And then share it with the world. So I had another course came to me which said, live your purpose full time. Like spend all your energy on your purpose and live from that. And I was like drawn to that as well. And it teaches me how to use YouTube, for example. And I do that. Although that was something very, very unimaginable for me before that. But now it's the time to share and to use the tools which are available. And there are tools available I can share with all the world. Everyone who resonates can watch my videos one day or now. So it's great tools. We have nowadays. And I also am compelled to acknowledge that. As I told you, I was quite resistant to technologies, especially the like net and all these things which I wanted to avoid and escape from. And I do some shading here and integration of my spiritual shape here. And for example, all these feelings, what I'm now when I'm doing that at the moment, come to me of being different is a problem. I need to do something like to adjust myself to society. And yeah, it's also the way you look at it. Like being different, is it a problem or is it your source? Is it actually what is like what you have to bring to the world. You don't have to adapt and adjust to the system. It won't work. If your mission and your purpose is to bring something which hasn't been on this earth that much to this world, then you have to do that. And as long as you don't do that, you won't be satisfied. And still, it's time, the right time for that is also to be awaited. Like in my case, with 50 you can start giving up, and that's right, and it feels right now, and I wouldn't have been ready for that any time before. So we also need to be patient with the right timings. The only thing we need to do is follow our inner voice and our most passionate things we can do at this moment. And if at this moment our passion is developing ourselves, drawing ourselves out of the dirt, out of the mud, and if it takes decades, it can be okay, it can be your way. And then you meet at a point where you get very impatient with that. You meet that person, like I met this homeopathic person telling me it's okay, relax, your time will come. And I was keeping on working on my self-development, preparing everything, preparing my experiences and preparing myself. And I have another thing which I realized yesterday while doing these drawings. Like, I always have this impression that there is someone, like a soul made for me in this life. And I from 15 or I don't know 13 I started feeling that, but never came across that person yet, which doesn't mean I won't come across. And what I realized yesterday in all my notes I took, my wild colored notes, I realized that exactly this energy, living my energy, this is the frequency on which it's possible to recognize the person, because I don't of course I can have tons of other experiences in partnerships, but I stopped wanting that. And if you are waiting for this special kind of connection, which I feel is there, I also need to be at a certain energy level that the energies can resonate and be visible to each other. So that's also an interesting, let's call it, side effect of that drawing. Well, it's not actually what that drawing is about, but what I was making myself, what came to my awareness while I had made all my notes there, which I showed you earlier. It's also related to teaching and giving out and act loving and teaching without being overreaching as a very, very nice and desirable aspect for myself, what I want to learn. Because having had all these experiences of being treated overreachingly by myself, it was so at any cost I wanted to avoid that, and I created that habit of being overreaching myself, I guess, to protect myself from being treated overreachingly, which is of course a paradox, and which of course didn't make me happy as well. In interaction with people, especially with my kids. But if I make myself, as long as I don't make myself aware of that people are not dangerous and I'm not in danger if I'm close to people, then that was kind of a coping mechanism which I adopted. Giving advice, for example. I hate getting advice. And I love if people have this quality of actually teaching without giving advice. Sharing their own knowledge, sharing their own experience, and don't expect me to do it. Just sharing. And I'm still on that, people. Learning that. How to share without giving advice. Without the without conditions. Like, I can share, but it's not like that you have to do anything because I am sharing that. Or it would be a waste of sharing if you don't like 100% do that. No, everybody is developing at their own pace. And that's what this Neurographica beautifully is working with. You can only go your own pace because you always start from where you are. And if you try to do too many steps at once, it is most probable and likely that you will get sick, for example, for some time. You need time to process all the changes if you are too fast. So advantage of smaller drawings is it is a little bit faster. So if you want to busy yourself with a topic very much in slow pace, I mean, you can draw any drawing in slow pace. Maybe this is only getting quickly for me because it's so it just wants to come out here. But if you have like a big drawing, of course you also need more time, which you can also use for yourself to emerge very intensely. If you choose a bigger format. Or a smaller one. You can also be very intense in a smaller one, of course. If you draw slowly, or if you draw, actually, it doesn't have to be slow, it has to be in your pace. It can be slow sometimes, and it can be also quick sometimes. Today I feel it's going quick. It seems to be something which is just beyond the surface and wants to be expressed. So, and here, I feel something interesting. Here I feel I want this white still somewhere here. And I'm trying to keep myself from coloring it, because it's so beautiful to have some white as well here. Some unknown, yeah. For me, this represents now this unknown. So I want to leave that. Maybe only have some little shading here. Just some little. This is going here, and this is staying white. Yes, great, nice. Wow, so more dark blue in here. To my surprise, I don't have any purple yet. Don't feel any need of purple yet. So, but I feel the need for field lines. As you know, field lines are inviting the divine once more into our drawing. And they will go from one side of the drawing to the other. So we choose 2 to 5 field lines to willingly invite the divine assistance to our drawing. So I'll start from someplace here, taking a bigger marker. I'm going through my square and I'll go up here. We are intending to create a line which is a neuroline, obviously, and which has the same thickness at every point. And it's like a river, allowing universal love and wisdom's energy to flow into our drawing and assist our topic. Then we need to work on integrating our intersections beautifully. Make the reverse energy flow everywhere nicely. We go down all our field line and do the rounding and feel whatever it comes up. How do we feel if we invite the divine, the unknown? How do we feel if we invite assistance, support? Does that feel like comfortable, or does it feel weird and scary to get support? I had that. I wanted to do everything by myself and then feel not supported. But still, what a paradox. You do lots of paradox usually. You don't want anybody to help, but then you feel like nobody's helping me. Yeah, lots of interesting insights. Here, this needs to flow down. I make more connections here. The more lines we have for connections, the more integrated our topic is, the more visible it is to our brain, the more visible you will have the results in your life. So, and even here can come one more. Creating balance the amount of lines and creating connections where they feel needed. Yes. Yes. I'm making this flow nicely. So if the line is very small and then I have this very big one, so it's nice to also have the flow a little bit, like to make it a little bit bigger where it's needed, so that you don't create energy, like if your energy is not stuck. And you can also go back to other drawings, like when you look at your drawings after a while and you feel, oh, there's some place where it is kind of something I want to adjust now, you can always do that. So here the drawing can always be adjusted also after some time. So I'll start from up here now and draw a second new line. It wants to go here. And it wants to, where does it want to go? Not sure where it wants to go now. So sometimes I need to change the marker because markers are getting dry. So I think I want it somewhere down there. So I'll just go down there. As you see, you can also create a new line. Don't always have to stick. This marker is working nicely and smoothly. Feels nice. So something is in there now. Interesting. I want to work on the intersections first before I do something about my middle, which something appeared here. Integration. The energy flow from that divine line, from that supporting line of universal love and wisdom, everywhere into our drawing. Both sides. Here we don't want to leave any sharp angles. If possible, always do the rounding carefully, patiently, knowing that this creates your maximum possible result. Be patient. Two field lines. I'll check if I want more in a minute. But now my awakened purple appears here in the middle somehow. in this intersection of these field lines for some reason. I see it purple here. So your field lines will be wherever you chose them. But I need to do some arrangements in color here now. So since this is a single cell, what do? I will just put some purple as well down here. It will flood over here and also a little bit up here. Fan of purple, spirituality. Can even flow here a little bit, as I fear. It's not very purplish here because it's mixed, but it's still there. So personally, I don't like that now, but we'll see what happens with that. So it's nice to bring this. It's not only nice, it's essential to bring our drawing to a state where we really like it, where we feel attracted to it by its beauty and completion. Like we need to feel satisfied with our result. So I'm spreading this color a little bit everywhere because to integrate this dark purple space which I created here, which doesn't really look very purple. So, and then I'll check, do I need more field lines? While checking that, I see that I want more blue as well. So this is actually also like style step which I'm working on all the time, like integrating the colors, making them more visible where I need them at the moment. More of this dark blue energy over here. Yes. I think I will have some lines which are not as big as my field lines, but some lines which are maybe a little bit thinner and still thicker than the other ones, maybe in this direction. So it goes here, and it is maybe going here. So there I have one a little bit thinner field line. Yes, it's kind of spreading everywhere. That's how it feels. Attempting to make them the same thickness all their way through the drawing. So wherever the field lines meet, the intersections need to be done very carefully. Lots of energy flow there. Following some of the lines down there, so yeah, it's kind of an expanding system. Feel the need to create some more of the thinner lines here, which I just let flow out of the drawing. And I will connect all those again. Take your time. So don't forget to breathe deeply. Usually that happens naturally, to like process the changes. I hope you also become aware of your own thoughts while I am talking. It might be difficult. It might be nice to re-watch the video after you heard me talk about all my process and then take it as an example when you are working with your own processes, to maybe switch off the video and feel like, what are my own thoughts, feelings, body reactions at this moment on my topic, on my drawing? What do my shapes represent? What thoughts come up? There can be topics coming up you want to draw on next time. Insights are inevitably coming up. Body reactions. To-do lists can appear. Most probably you'll have a lot of energy flow because you get in contact with your higher self while drawing. Like inevitably, if you're connecting to universal love and wisdom, you will be connecting to your higher self and getting all these impulses, all these insights and ideas which serve you now, which are your fruits of the drawing, and which will also help you bring about the changes in your life. So be carefully aware of your thoughts and all your processes. Be brave, face them, Also your fears, especially everything you don't want to look at. Write it down, face it whenever you feel ready for it. That brings about your desired life. Oh, here, some sharp angles. We intend to do the rounding because the sharp edges are representing danger for the brain. So people, I also think about my affixing shape now. Which shape do I want to emphasize on? And I wish to affix all my circles outside, where I'm not sure whether this is an affixing shape, because there will be many affixing shapes. My love for people shapes. What if I affix that? I may not affix it, but I want to make my lines a little bit more visible of that shape now. I want to go around that again. Kind of dissolved. I want to make it more visible in order to find my affixing shape. This is going here. This is going here. Okay, and I have this circle here. I just make them more visible now because I want to make my shapes visible. To decide which one will I take. These black markers are really nice to make our results visible. You also need to be brave to use black markers, because you can be sure they will bring about what you want to draw in your life. They will even bring change. How scary for the brain. So I will have to go around, do more rounding and integration after I finish here. And I can feel contentment already with my drawing process and with my content and with whatever is visible here and all my insights which I had, which I was sharing with you while drawing. It's very valuable for me because I also have new insights which just come like through me while I'm talking about what I'm doing, and it's all connected to my topic, obviously. So it's my insights. My own drawings, it disturbs when I'm listening to somebody else's insights. But you have ways of dealing with that. You find your way. I also did. I told you. I kept on watching twice. Or maybe watching and then second time doing it myself. Although surprised, to my own surprise, I was also able to create drawings with people while they were talking about their own processes. But for me, it only works if it's in a very topic which is very dear to my heart. So I can also concentrate on my own process. There was something sticking out here. We don't want that to have some line just randomly ending in the middle of nowhere. So we connect those lines if we find them. So I go check my connections, make them smooth and beautiful, adding up the energy of satisfaction, contentment. So here there's some kind of integrations necessary. Thinner lines, thicker lines meeting. We don't need to be perfectionists, but we can do as it feels complete to us. You don't have to meet anybody's standards, just your own. I mean, that's easy said because your own standards are mostly the are actually the ones which are creating us the difficulties, our own standards. So do it as you personally feel content and create your own state of harmony and satisfaction. Do the rounding wherever you feel it needed, wherever you feel it's kind of edgy still. You do something about it. Wherever you feel fine with it, you can leave it. So some of it feels fine already. Some wants to be connected. So the new line. Very delicate work. You can also experiment with different markers. At least 3 different line thicknesses will be good. One for the field lines, thicker one, and a very thin one, maybe for the... Now I'm using the very thin one, and that is also nice. A second thickness if it's available. But you can draw whatever you have. It's most important is that you create your changes and find out which tools work best for you. So I'm still looking for my fixing shape. I have been outside and took a break because I couldn't make a decision on my fixing shape. So it's very nice also to take a break whenever you feel it's necessary. So you can do that at any point of the video. Obviously, stop it, do whatever needs to be done, go outside for a quick walk, cook yourself a cup of tea. That's what I did just now. Look at the trees, and then start whenever you're ready with the next step. So I am ready now for my affixing shape. So the affixing shape is the shape you will be the most prominent in the drawing. And I decided to take my square as an affixing shape. You can decide any other shape what feels right. It could be a circle outside, it can be this circle, it can be the whole shape of this spiritual you. Whatever you want to emphasize at this moment is your affixing shape, and I'm emphasizing on, I decided on the square because it is a key element in my life at the moment to accept that being human is not a contradiction to being spiritual and present in the moment, and making peace with this human side in me, gaining the strength and the confidence of this dark blue square. That's my intention, and I'm drawing lines around that to create my most outstanding thickest line for my affixing shape. And I feel into that energy. It is kind of the engine for the whole drawing. This whole dark blue square feels like connected right with my heart and connected to my spirituality and connected to me serving people and fulfilling my purpose. So that's why I feel it's an appropriate, it's the appropriate shape for me in my drawing. And you will find your appropriate shape to concentrate your attention on. So me being able to act in this world as a human and not being in opposition to having a body, to having to be on this earth, but to do what is necessary by accepting that this is part of the game of being on this earth, and by knowing being on this earth means having a job to do. At least for me it means that. So integrating this experience of feeling grounded as a human in every moment and do whatever is to be done, being in peace with reality. Doesn't that sound great? For me it sounds really great. Being in peace with reality. I need to write that down. This will be my slogan. My learning, being in peace. This is my message of my affixing shape. Being in peace with reality. With my own reality and with the reality of the planet, of technology, of everything that is reality here, being in peace with reality, like the reality we face here on this earth, whether that is reality or not, but it's our reality at the moment. And if I oppose that as any opposition to whatever is, makes me stuck and not able to act. So accepting reality is a foundation for being able to act. So I find that my feel lines want to be a little bit more visible. That's why I work on them more. Make them more visible. So work on integration here. The intersections here. So now I work on the last step of style, like bringing everything to that state of satisfaction. Add shading, add more color wherever you feel it. Work on your lines more to have the integrated impression. And finish up your drawing according to your needs. I still feel I want more dark blue here, especially since it's my fixing shape now. I had another interesting thought while I was on my break to decide on the fixing shape and also to recharge my batteries. The thought which came into my mind was the song which I chose as my song when I decided that I will go for my full-time purpose business action. To support myself in that process, I was choosing a song, and the first song that came into my mind was that I Will Survive song. I will survive, oh yeah. So anyway, and that came to my mind right now, I guess, because it's exactly that what needed support in myself, like the idea that I can survive although I make myself visible, although I do whatever needs to be done, and I will survive. I was even dancing to that, like for some time, and it was really the right message for me, for my shift of identity, that I can make myself visible and I will survive that. So, yes, now that feels more like complete to me. Yes, to check how it is, like its effect is also like nice to hold it a little bit far away from you, and to can also stand, like put it somewhere, like, and from distance and look at it, what might be needed to be done. And I'm looking at that from distance and I feel quite content. I had one impression of some kind of colors leading out from this streams of colors coming out of these rays. Into gray, I add that, like flow of color along that. Yes. It's like working with the field as well again, inviting the energy of the field. Flow, and one more here. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Style integration. Satisfaction. So if you got your drawing to that step, you can do the last step and write down topic 2 after the drawing. So, being in peace with my reality is my overall insight of that fixing shape. And I'm writing down words on that now, or whatever words come to me. So, let me explore, and please also explore the changes of your drawing. Wow, wow, wow. Great, 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 great. I'll read what I discovered. Independent now is right. Go from now. Focus on this moment. Meditation of accepting whatever is at this moment. Focus, feet on the ground, do what needs to be done, my way, non-judgmental, free, connected, love for people, free of fear of people, free of judgments about myself, free right now. Yes, I feel satisfied with my result. I hope you feel satisfied with your result too. It's a pleasure to draw with you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for trusting me. I do my best to channel whatever wants to come through me to serve you. So, if you like my channel, you can subscribe, you can support my channel by liking my videos and also by commenting whatever you want to comment on. So see you soon. Enjoy the results of your drawings because they will inevitably appear. Trust in that. See you soon. Have a beautiful day.